guys, Icefire here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 1, Awake. The game has just come out, and I binge played the first episode pretty much immediately over the weekend. Now, it's safe to say I was quite surprised by it. Warning in advance, this review will have hella story spoilers, so if you haven't played it yet, go do that first and then come back. Anyway, now that the spoiler warning is out of the way, let's get right into it. Before the Storm is a prequel to Life is Strange. In this game, you take control of Chloe Price at a pretty rough stage in her life. Chloe is struggling with the recent death of her father, her mother starting to date, and the fading of her friendship with Max. But one night, things take an interesting turn when Chloe meets a certain girl, Rachel Amber. When the game was announced, I couldn't help but have the thought of, what type of story is there to tell? We know all about Chloe and Rachel's fate. Would this prequel even have a purpose? Now that I've finished the first episode, I can answer that question with a simple yes. Yes, there is. We come into the story seeing Chloe going off the rails in the aftermath of her father's death. With death of loved ones, it can take a long time to heal, and that rings true with Chloe, even 2 years after the accident. In this prequel, we get a glimpse of Chloe's life before Max comes back, before Rachel meets her untimely demise, and, well, before the storm. I was one of the players that played Life is Strange and didn't click with Chloe very much off the bat. I personally thought she was super selfish, too reckless, and kind of a bag of dicks. And before the storm, I felt like I got to know Chloe a little better, hell, even relate to her. Between the ages of 14 to 16, I went through a rebellious phase. I was very much in the mindset of fuck the rules and the big guys in charge. Watching Chloe act how I did reminded me of my younger years and things that I myself had gone through, whilst also mentally face-palming at the memories. But we don't just see the reckless, loud and bold side of Chloe, we also see a softer side to her, especially around Rachel. She's open, light-hearted and shy. Yep, Chloe Price turns into a shy bean at times. That's rare, but it does happen. In this game, we really do get a feel of who Chloe is, what's making her act out the way that she is, and what makes her tick. We also get to see the development of her relationship with Rachel as well. Which brings me to my next point, Rachel Amber. We finally get to meet and hang with the infamous girl we've heard so much about in the original game. Now, when the gameplay for Before the Storm was shown, I did not like Rachel at all. Honestly, I thought she was, well, a right cow. But the way she suddenly turns on Chloe while they're hanging out, even when Chloe bears her wee heart to her, she's stone cold. While playing the game myself, I still stood by my initial opinion of Rachel until you meet up with her right at the end of the episode. Rachel then reveals the reason behind her being so cold and cruel. The couple that Chloe and her spied on earlier wasn't a couple at all. It was actually her father having an affair. Once she revealed that, it all made sense, and I felt really bad for her, and my initial opinion of her kind of went away. Rachel's character is really interesting though. There's a lot of layers to her. She's charming, humorous, and witty, yet she's also reckless, possibly even more so than Chloe. If I had to compare Rachel to anything, I would say she's kind of like a hurricane. Before the Storm is really driven by emotion. Chloe's emotions are so damn raw in this game. There's a moment where she's destroying stuff in the junkyard and she comes across the wrecked remains of her father's car from the accident that ultimately killed him, and she completely breaks down. And it was done in a way that you see her going through all the motions of grief all bubbling to the surface at once. Disbelief, anger, overwhelming sadness. This moment honestly had me crying my eyes out pretty hard. Seriously, who's cutting onions in here? If you're familiar with Life is Strange, you'll know that Max's gameplay gimmick was rewinding time. With Chloe, I joked in my overview video of Before the Storm that her thing is the power of being a little shit. Turns out, I wasn't wrong. The game features the mechanic backtalk. How backtalk works is that you pretty much talk shit to whoever you're speaking to until they cave and you come out on top, taking note of what they say and using it to your advantage. When it first appeared on screen, I thought, really? 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 But upon playing it, it's so damn fun and quite a refreshing gameplay mechanic. And the things Chloe comes out with are so hilarious. Speaking of gameplay mechanics, however, one thing I didn't like was the sensitivity in the controls when you moved around. It felt too sharp and it did get on my nerves a fair bit. In the first game, the controls were pretty, average. You don't think that much of them. But in Before the Storm, however, I felt they were quite jerky and you turned around too fast. And it kind of put me off a little bit. Now the music. Oh my god, guys, the music in this game. I love the indie alternative style music they had in Life is Strange, and Before the Storm is just as good. Everything from the main menu theme, to Firewalk playing live, to the ambience in the background was just heaven to the ears, mate. The band Daughter worked on the soundtrack for Before the Storm as well, and I cannot stress how much of an amazing job they did. The music is phenomenal, hands down. Finally, I want to wrap this up with my favourite moment from episode 1, Awake, and that is where you play Dungeons & Dragons with a couple kids from Blackwell, and I absolutely loved it. The dialogue was great, I felt really invested in what was happening, and even Chloe's backtalk mechanic came into play in the campaign that actually made sense gameplay wise. And there was this particular moment that had me pretty much gone, like dead, died from laughter.
Here's what's up. I'm going to carve the skin from your bones. Then I'm going to turn your skin into a little leather handbag that I'll shove your skinless body into so I can carry it around with me wherever I go. That way, the next time some asshat refuses to give me a key I want, I can pull your body out and show them what happens. How does that sound?
Wow.
And that's it for my review of Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What did you think of the game? Do you love it? Hate it? Are you emotionally not okay? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I really loved the first episode and it took me by surprise. And if you guys like this, I'll continue to review the other episodes when they come out. Now if you like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new and you want to see more content like this along with the other shit that I do. And do consider supporting me on Patreon as it'll fuel the growth of my content's quality and the variety of said content in the middle of this ad apocalypse. Even though I'm being hit. Thanks YouTube. And as always, it is iSlice signing off, and I'll see you introverts all later next time on the channel. Have a lovely day /night wherever you are in the world. Bye!